I've spent thousands of hours mastering getting over the ugly phase in my art, and it's crazy because 5 years ago I was almost thinking about quitting art forever, because I just had no clue how to get past the ugly phase. Right now, I'm going to share with you this one lesson that I've learned that skyrocketed my career, and after understanding it, you'll hopefully start to go from dreading the ugly phase to knowing it's just part of the process. So let's get right into it. See, the key to getting past the ugly phase is to have something I like to call a signal. I'll explain what that is in a second, but the reason people get stuck in the ugly phase and can't progress is because you don't have any clear idea of where to go. So here's the process I use to get past this, and I'll explain what I mean by signal. So let's take this character I was working on for example. For any piece of art that you're making, you first want to pick a part of the project that you're trying to improve. Is it the face you want to improve, the hair, the attire? And once that's decided, step 2 is to go out and look for a signal. Now what that can be is it can be any photograph or work of art that you feel already looks great and that you can take inspiration from. For this character for example, when it was in its ugly phase for the hair and overall look, what I did was I went out and looked for some signal on the hair and how I wanted that to interact with the body. I then used the image that I found, which I like to call a signal, to compare to the work that I was making. And when we put the two side by side, especially grayscaled, it really makes everything a lot clearer. By doing this, you can exactly see where your own work is lacking and the changes you need to start making to get it to look better and get out of the ugly phase. Now look, doing things this way is powerful, but it becomes much more powerful and you can go even deeper with this when you actually understand what makes art look good, and apply this concept to your art in multiple areas. Over here, take my goth character for example. I use the strategy for making all parts of her, but let's just focus on the pants for now. So when I was making the pants, they looked horrible at first, but then I went out and looked for signal on good looking sort of cargo goth style pants like this, and what I then did was I tried to recreate the shapes I saw in these images through modeling. And then once I got that basic look through modeling down, I went out and I looked for new signals in terms of things like accessories and other just little small details that help make it look better. And of course, I just apply that to my work, and that's how it goes from being ugly to not being ugly. So really, I hope you're starting to see a pattern here. It's really this process of looking at your own work, finding a signal to give you information, then once you're done with, processing that information, you can go out, look for another signal to take inspiration from, and so on and so forth. I want you to really understand this. 3D results in a visual product, and actually really thinking about the visual side of things is what actually makes your work look better. Now check this out because it's going to prove it to you even further. In this character, when I was doing her hair, I really wanted to make a black but dyed orange style like I did in the end. Now an amateur artist would just try and randomly kind of paint orange at the bottom of her hair, or slap on some color effect like that. But what's better to do based on this process is to go out and look for a signal on good looking orange dyed hair. I found this image on Pinterest for example, and by dissecting the colors by literally hovering my color picker over it and seeing how the colors oscillated from bright yellow in the highlight areas to darker red in the more dark areas, I took this concept and applied it to my own character's hair. So check this out, in my character I literally added in separate effects using stylized acid suite that let me draw in redness in the dark areas, and I made it more yellow in the bright areas as well. And that's what actually makes it look better, it's not some magical effect. Without focusing on signal first like I did here, I'd have been stuck and it would be in the ugly phase forever with no way of getting out of it, because then you're just guessing if you don't have any signal. You can apply this strategy of using signal. I've said signal like a million times at this point, but it's such a strong strategy. For faces, for example, you can apply it to that too, which is something I know some people struggle with. And the process for doing faces is no different when you're in the early stages of making a face. It's good to find images that inspire you and that you can sort of work towards imitating in a way in the beginning, and really just try and compare the work that you're making with the signals that you have to improve it a bit. What I do is maybe I'll start off by looking at like 2 to 3 face images as signals for my face when I'm making it, and then as time goes on and it starts to look more decent, I'll look at other images and take inspiration from that and maybe add new things and stuff like this. So in general, you'll notice a pattern here, which is that I'm saying I always go and look for a signal first if there's a feature that I want to add to my character or any art project that I'm working on. Because when you want to add something, you first have to break it down and understand, what it is in the first place. Now also, this strategy can even be applied to things like lighting or environments. If you guys saw my frog animation scene tutorial, you may remember that I intentionally blocked out the lighting on the right and left sides of the scene. The reason I did that was because I had seen images where this worked, so I applied it to my own work. So the whole point of all this is that I want you to become a noticer. Now, what is a noticer? A noticer is someone who, when they go outside or see any art or anything like that, they're able to notice what is a good signal versus what isn't. When I go outside, for example, I see this everywhere when I'm walking around. Sometimes I take pictures of what I think would be a good signal for, the art that I'm making. For example, this image here that I took, because I saw this scene in a room where the lighting was just absolutely beautiful, and this could act as useful signal for the lighting in an indoor scene, for example. Now, when I made this cat scene animation, I used a video recorded of my sister's cat as inspiration for the cat's movements, and that gave me signal on how to animate the cat properly and make it actually fit into the room like that. And honestly, just in life, I oftentimes as well take pictures of clouds at different times of day and, in different lighting circumstances as well, like coming from the front or the back, because all of this could be useful inspiration for sky scenes. And as someone who's been doing 3D for a while, I know if I'm making a scene where it's in clouds, the sun might be coming from behind the clouds or in front of it, so you just never know when, these images can come in handy. I was actually in the car the other day and we were driving, and the sky was in front of us, and it was just this massive, beautiful cloudscape. And, I just noticed it and I said out loud, like, wow, that's an incredible view. And the person I was with, they were like, what's incredible? I was like, the clouds. And they were like, oh, yeah. So, I mean, maybe if you do this too much, people might think that you're crazy, but, it's great to do, honestly. And it just kind of makes you appreciate the way the world looks more, and as well as, how things like shape language and lighting and all of these forces interact, like lighting, design, movement, all of these things. Really just thinking about it makes you a better artist, I think. So yeah, I recommend going out and doing this in your daily life. I, for example, might take pictures of some flowers because I think they look like they could be a good foreground in one of the scenes that I make. And of course, knowing how to use Blender and all of its various tools is super important as well, because of course, without knowing that, it can be harder to translate what you see and know into 3D art. So of course, you can check out some of the tutorials on my channel. It's also one of the reasons why I built my masterclass. I really wanted to build something where people could join at once and just get the info they need to understand Blender and get to a point in using the software where they can really just develop a sense of how to translate what they see into, the 3D art world. So of course, you guys can check that out if you want. We have an awesome community of many members. And besides that, have a great day, everyone.